This is Build It Baby, the show for big ideas, brave pivots, and bold next chapters. So let's do it. Let's build it, baby. If you're a dreamer who does, you're in the right place. I'm Penelope Bent here with my brilliant producer, Morgan Clymer. Today, we take a deep dive into emotional strategy along with some self-awareness and communication style. So let's build it, baby. Okay, so here's my question for you today. What is your relationship with feedback? Both giving it and receiving. I don't know about you, but I think feedback is a very interesting term, maybe a different word for criticism, which I don't know about you, but I hate criticism. It hurts my feelings and I just want to run to throw myself under my bed. So that's my question for you. What is your relationship with feedback and how well do you give feedback, whether this is in business or you're working in your career, or this could be in a negotiation with your children for all that matters. What is your communication style? I think that this is something that we're thinking about when we move through the process of creating great opportunities for ourselves and negotiating and chatting with people. What is the communication when you're building something together with a team or you're negotiating with your youngster? And one of the things that I have learned is that no one can build the dream better than you do. So when you receive feedback, whether solicited or unsolicited from others, the real question is, how do you handle that feedback? What is your belief system around that feedback? And so many times we all want to shut down and it's either my way or the highway. And I think that when you're building, especially in building a business, what is so important is to listen to others. I'm a big question person. I ask a lot of questions when I'm working with a client so that I can really understand what is it that you're going after. What is the end result for you? One, so I can make sure that we're on the same page and that I'm delivering the products or services that they understand that I'm to deliver. But I think the other piece is when you are working with a team of folks to develop something, what are your communication skills like? Even though no one will know how to build this dream better than you do, it's something that is going to take more than just your idea. If you want to bring this to fruition, then it's going to probably include more than just yourself designing and developing the product or service. It's going to take a variety of individuals, whether it's your tech team, your marketing team, could be your next door neighbor, when you're developing your skills in working with children. These are all pieces and parts of others' ideas that you integrate into your own so you can sift through and grab the ideas that you feel will be the most beneficial. I was watching a documentary the other night where I just saw this individual hire some amazing engineers, and yet when the engineers went directly to the principal and said, this is life-threatening, we're not designing this, it doesn't have the capabilities that you want it to have, and this could be death to a few. Unfortunately, this particular individual allowed for his ego to really take over, and he wasn't listening to this great advice from others. So it's very hard to grow your company and make sure it's in a safe, a safe product and service without possibly the input of others. One of the ways that I learned early on when you're communicating with others, and it's really hard for me, I love everyone to be happy, and I want a wonderful, no drama environment. But there's times when you need to make sure that you're communicating what your system is or what your philosophy is. And I was taught early on what they call the sandwich method. So when you know you need to make a subtle correction with one of the people that are working with you, or that you're a team member that you're working with, I found that if you can share the positive of what they're doing really well first, and then you slide in the negative. You slide in this little piece that you feel needs to be, slightly corrected, and then end the conversation with another positive. So I call that the sandwich method. And I find that people will listen, and they will understand your critique, your feedback that you're trying to give them, when you're also giving them the feedback on what they do well. One of the things I learned also early on is that I have a really good eye for whether something is in balance, whether it's a design, whether it's a picture hanging on a wall. I can walk in and tell you it's off slightly in a heartbeat. I used to laugh that my grandmother could see a hint. She always said she couldn't see, but boy, if she came into my house, she could see a piece of lint on the carpet for 100 yards off. So I think that was just something that I was given as a gift to be able to have that eye. But I found that when someone would design something, and I would go immediately into, okay, this type is not centered, that would really, that wasn't a positive way to do it. I mean, it was not centered, but it would have been much nicer if I had said, great look, great design, just what we're looking for. Let's go ahead and make sure that the text is centered properly, but your narrative is on target, and so on. And so I learned to be able to share the positive of what the team member was creating, as well as any adjustments that I found that I wanted to make. Because I learned the hard way that by coming in immediately on what I needed to have refined or redesigned or corrected was very disheartening. And I think I was taking the breath right out of the team member instead of bringing in what I really thought was very complimentary. But I was not aware of how important it was to be able to share that. And I think by making that mistake, I created a sense of almost fear, not fear that I was going to throw a fit, but fear that I would be disappointed, which is very paralyzing to the people that work with you. And I cannot tell you how heartbroken I was when I realized that my communication skill, my sense of perfectionism was hurting the people that I worked with. And so I'm sure it didn't feel good, but I was also hurting my own product because I was not communicating in a manner that would allow them to receive the feedback and not be paralyzed in performing this task again. I mean, when you think about it, if every time you're asked to do something and you do it and they go, well, I don't know, you left a little dust on the corner here, it really just takes the wind right out of your sails. So moving forward in business and in life, I believe, I really think twice about how I say it, or I try to do my very best to think twice about how I say it and how will it impact the individual. Will they still be able to hold on to their own power and be able to create as a creative partner of mine versus it's my way or the highway. So that's something that I think is very, very important when you're giving out suggestions or feedback. When we're receiving feedback, I have found that I really sit with it for a long time because you're the only one that knows what this final build will look like. And there's an intuitive nature in the build. It's your baby. And many times, more than not, the person that I was seeking the advice from or they were seeking to give me their feedback, whether solicited or unsolicited, many times they did not come from the same perspective that I was coming from. And I learned to evaluate their feedback, slide into that perspective, and decide whether it felt right to me. Did that style fit in my company? Did that behavior, the way they spoke to my clients, did that fit in the philosophy and the feeling that I wanted my clients to have when they walked in the door? Now, there was a perfect example of this in the freelance modeling and acting program, because I was pretty much teaching the whole program. Eventually, I had to bring in additional instructors that I trained and I interviewed and really went through a number of interviews to try to find the right men or women that would introduce the framework that I wanted it to be within. And I was so protective of my client that every time I heard someone be a little harsh, it would just make the hair pop up on the back of my neck because I didn't like the way the client was being spoken to. I didn't feel that was the way we should communicate with our clients. Did I feel that they should be spoon-fed? No, but I did not feel that they should be criticized or berated in front of others in order to teach. I don't feel that was my teaching style. I was definitely more into the positive approach than I was the negative approach. And it was really, really hard to find folks that were going to share my philosophies and my beliefs to my clients. So when you're building your team, looking at the way that your team members communicate with your clients and represent your brand is incredibly important, because one negative move can hurt your brand much deeper. It can cut in much deeper than you believe it can. I always say that one disgruntled customer can take down 100 new clients, and yet if it had been thought through a little more, the same bit of communication would have been distributed, and we would have come out with a much more positive result. So when you are building your business or building your career or life, really looking at your strategy when it comes to your relationship with feedback, how you receive it and how you give it is a very, very important element that will contribute to the success or the decline of the build. And that is an interesting piece because it is so individual. So much of how you share is your belief system and how you can communicate that and have others share it in a similar fashion, a similar manner will definitely serve you well in the long run. So definitely give that one some thought, and don't hesitate to send me some emails on some of the ways that you've really succeeded in that area or different pitfalls. It'd be fun to share. So here's the part where I tell you exactly what I know. These are my knowings, the things I no longer question because they've shown themselves to me again and again. Not from a book, but from building, getting knocked down, getting back up, and doing this work in the real world. So here are my knowings when it comes to feedback. I say number one, hire really, really smart people of like mind. Smart people will help you build. Working with smart people, asking for suggestions, not being afraid to say, take a look at my work and tell me what you think. Trust those that you hire or that you work with. If you watch their behavior and you believe that they would give you an honest evaluation of your work, then by gosh, ask them for that knowledge. Ask them to share that knowledge with you. Number two, be clear about your goals, and yet don't be rigid. Be flexible. If you've got a bright team member and they have a new way that you could create a stronger brand, then listen to them. Think on it. Maybe it's a great idea. Maybe you've been stumbling over it for a long time. Try to avoid being rigid, being open, trusting in the fact that you've hired someone that's incredibly smart and that they will be able to bring that to the table for you. And number three, know your question will always be answered. When you're stumbling, when you've received some criticism or feedback that you're just uncomfortable with, sit with it a while. Be honest. Be true to yourself. Is there truth in that? What do I need to do to solve that problem? Or what was the benefit? What would be the benefit if I listened to that bit of feedback? Ask the question. Ask the universe the question. You will always receive the answer. And interestingly enough, it might be just a little bit of what they suggested and a little bit of what your own gut says. Be aware of the signs. You can take a little bit of this and a little bit of that and come out with something that would be new and interesting. So those are my three knowings when it comes to feedback, whether you're giving it or receiving it. Hire smart, trust in who you hire, and trust the universe to give you the answers when you need them the most. So those are my knowings. So Morgan, hit us with today's listener question.
All right. So today's question is from Frida from California. And Frida would like to know, do you believe in God?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Well, my answer to that is absolutely with a caveat. And what I mean by that is that I believe everyone that does believe in a God has their own God. Everyone believes something different. Do I believe that there's only one belief? Do I believe that only one way is the right way? No, I believe that there's an energy and a power in the universe that is something that we really do not have the right words to express. I guess the word God comes as close to a universal knowing, but I do believe that everyone has their own idea of what that means, and I believe that should be respected by all. I don't believe that one way has to be the absolute right way. I don't think there's any right way as long as it's right for you. Whatever you believe in, if it's your God, it works for you, whatever that picture looks like. Do I believe that we are participants in a creative partner? Absolutely. I believe that 100%. I believe that the universe is my partner for all good. I believe that the universe is like a mirror, and what I see, what I give out, comes right back to me. If I'm always looking for good, I always find it. If I'm looking for bad, I'll find that too. What is it they always say? Do you feed the good dog or the bad dog? I always feed the good dog. I always try to see it all from the angle of good. Even if it's something bad that happens, I will immediately go to, there's a reason that this has happened. There's some other deeper meaning that will be something that I need, something that will change my course of action. So I do believe that there is a creative partner that I'm working with 24/7. I also believe that I'm open to trusting, to relax, to let all the good in, to let all the pieces float in. I'm not as intense anymore about going out and having to find it. I don't think that my God or my energy is out there. I think it's inside. I think it's in my mind and my spirit. And so I relax and wait for it to slide in. I open my heart to it. I really focus on three things when I'm building. And that is that I see it very clearly, what the original build was. Doesn't mean it's not going to change and subtly, be a little different from, time to time. I've said that all along. It never comes out the first way. You're always adjusting and refining and defining. So I see it first. And then I've shared this with clients before that are building, that I've helped build businesses. Do you feel it? Do you feel the success of it all? Are you feeling abundant? Do you feel the money's coming in when really you're looking at, your checking account with less than $100 in it? But do you feel it? You have to feel it. If you're not participating, then all the visualizing in the world, I've heard about, the visualization boards. And I think that that's a terrific beginning to teach people to see positive things coming their way. But I believe you have to feel it coming your way. You have to finally, at the last piece, you have to trust it. Trust that all that you're building and seeing, whether it's a business, your career, your life, and feel that seeing, feel that picture, feel the if you want to go on a cruise, feel the cruise, feel the air on your, in your skin, the breeze. If it's a partnership, the love of another, feel it and trust that it will walk into your life when it is the perfect time. That all is easy, all is on its way, and all is going to be yours when it's meant to be. You're always in the right place. You're never in the wrong place. You're always in the right place. So, do I believe in God? I believe in something very, very big out there. I believe that it's an amazing creative energy. I appreciate that this energy has been part of how I was created. I will forever be grateful because this life has been absolutely amazing. So there's my answer to that one. That was a good question. Boy, that was a big question. I hope I answered that for you. Well, thanks for tuning in to Build It, Baby. We're here every Tuesday, bringing you real talk and big ideas and heart-led strategy. Don't forget to subscribe, share, or send us your boldest question. You can go to penelopebent.com. Until next time, I hope you keep dreaming, keep building. You got this, baby. Always best, P. Build It, Baby is a Rainy Day Production House original. Hosted by Penelope Bent and produced and edited by Morgan Clymer. Music by Yuri Shemshashen and Oleksiy Holobiev. If this episode spoke to you, please follow the show and leave a review. It helps more dreamers like you find us. And remember, you're not just building a bold business or a career. You're building a bold life.